The night the alien girl appeared at my door, the station's emergency heaters had already failed. Outpost K-17 sat on the frozen edge of human-controlled space, a forgotten refueling stop clinging to a moon that never saw a sun. The cold here wasn't just temperature, it was a living thing, seeping through metal, gnawing at bone, waiting patiently for mistakes. Most species avoided this place entirely. Humans stayed because we were stubborn enough to try. I was halfway through rerouting power to my bunk's thermal coils when the proximity alarm chimed, soft, hesitant, like it wasn't sure it should exist. No ships on the scanners. No authorized personnel scheduled. Just a heat signature. Small. Fading fast. Against my better judgment, I grabbed my code and opened the outer hatch. She collapsed across the threshold. The alien girl was no taller than a human child, her skin a pale blue-gray marbled with darker veins that pulsed faintly with light. Frost clung to her thin, crystalline garments, and her breath came in shallow, rattling gasps. Large, luminous eyes fluttered open when I knelt beside her, unfocused and terrified. "Warm," she whispered, the translator implant in my ear catching the single word with eerie clarity. "Please." I hauled her inside without thinking, sealing the hatch as the moon's killing cold screamed in protest. I wrapped her in thermal blankets, guided her shaking form toward the emergency heater, and monitored her vitals on my wrist pad. Her core temperature was dangerously low, lower than anything human medicine considered survivable. Yet she was still alive. As the warmth seeped back into her, her shivering eased. The glow beneath her skin brightened, forming faint geometric patterns I'd never seen before. She watched me closely, her gaze sharp now, calculating. "You are alone," she said quietly. "Most days," I replied. "You picked a bad night to wander outside." Her lips curved, not quite a smile. "I picked the only night that would work." That should have been my first warning. Over the next few hours, she recovered faster than seemed possible. She accepted warm nutrient paste, drank heated electrolyte solution, and studied every corner of the station with unsettling interest. She asked about the reactor, the power grid, the emergency protocols. I answered cautiously, assuming curiosity or fear. I was wrong. "My name is Lyrics," she said eventually, curling her legs beneath her on the bunk. "I am of the Threnari." I stiffened. The Threnari were a whispered name in xenobriefings, an ancient species rumored to manipulate energy itself. No confirmed encounters. No treaties. No recorded homeworld. "Why were you out there?" I asked. Lyrics tilted her head. "Because I needed you to save me." Before I could respond, every light in the station flickered. The heaters cut out. The hum of the reactor dipped into a dangerous, unstable pitch. Warning symbols exploded across my wrist pad. "What did you do?" I demanded, rushing to the control console. Lyrics slid off the bunk, suddenly steady, suddenly powerful. The glow beneath her skin intensified, the patterns shifting faster, brighter. "I sought warmth," she said calmly. But warmth alone was never enough. The temperature plummeted. Frost crept along the walls. My breath fogged instantly. "The Threnari do not generate heat," she continued. "We absorb it, convert it, redirect it." I spun on her. "Redirect it where?" She met my eyes, and for the first time, I saw something vast behind them. Ages of planning, of loss, of desperation. "To wake my people." The reactor screamed. Energy readings spiked beyond safe limits as Lyrics raised her hands, invisible currents bending toward her. The station's heat, every jewel I'd fought to preserve, was being drawn into her glowing form. I lunged for the manual override, trying to shut the system down before it overloaded. "Stop," I shouted. You'll kill us both. She hesitated. For a fraction of a second, the glow faltered. You were not meant to die, Lyrics said softly. You were meant to choose. The truth slammed into place. She hadn't stumbled here by chance. She'd chosen a human outpost because humans were the only species reckless enough to generate excess heat on a frozen rock and compassionate enough to rescue a stranger without asking why. You need the reactor, I said, voice tight. To broadcast something? A signal? Yes. If I let you do this, the station will freeze. Any ship docking here later will never come, she finished. I know. I looked around at the outpost I'd spent years maintaining. It was lonely, miserable, and half forgotten by command, but it was still human territory. Still a lifeline. How many lives does this wake? I asked. Lyrics' expression cracked, just slightly. Millions. Perhaps more. Silence stretched between us, broken only by the shriek of stressed metal. I made my choice. Route the draw through the secondary coils, I said. Limit the surge. I'll vent the rest into space. Her eyes widened. You would sacrifice your station? I'll survive, I said grimly. Humans are good at that. Together, we worked, me at the console, hands flying, her channeling energy within human precision. The station went dark section by section, heat bleeding away, but the reactor held. The surge stabilized into a controlled pulse. Lyrics cried out as the signal released, a wave of radiant energy tearing through subspace. For a moment, the universe itself seemed to listen. Then it was over. She collapsed, the glow fading, her body once again small and fragile. I caught her before she hit the deck, dragging her back toward the emergency blankets as the station limped on minimal power. Days later, rescue arrived. They found a frozen outpost barely operational, a human technician suffering from mild hypothermia, and no trace of the alien girl. Only strange residual energy readings that baffled every scientist who studied them. But I knew the truth. Somewhere in the dark, the Threnari were waking. And it all began because an alien girl sought warmth, and a human chose to give it, even when the cost was everything. Months later, long-range sensors detected something unprecedented. Entire star systems reigniting after millennia of silence. Ancient structures powered on. Signals echoed back across the void, harmonized and deliberate. Command called it a mystery. I didn't. Sometimes, late at night, when the heaters hum just a little warmer than they should, I swear I see faint geometric light dancing along the walls. And I remember Lyrics' eyes, not cold, not cruel, but hopeful. The galaxy believes humanity stumbled into first contact by accident. But I know the truth. She didn't just seek warmth. She found a spark and used it to wake a civilization.